Welcome back to Enamored Risks. So let's see. Finn went off to do something by himself, like he specifically told me not to. He got injured. Me and Zaina took him to the hospital. Then we chilled for a while at the hospital, just being anxious. But then we told Paxton what was up. He agreed to come over after his shift. So then we didn't have to stay anymore because we weren't abandoning Finn at the hospital. So now we came back to the mansion to get Zaina's motorcycle back because we all took my car that I apparently have had this whole time. Anyway, and then Zaina asked, "Do you want to spend the night at my place?" "Yeah, of course." I follow Zaina's motorcycle back to her place, and when we're there, it's a struggle up the stairs. We lean on each other the whole way up, not unlike a gaggle of drunk college students heading back home after a night out. As it is, I all but collapse on the couch when Zaina opens the door to her apartment. Zaina joins me. Our time on the couch is spent mostly in silence. I think we both needed some time to relax after all the craziness. Eventually, Zaina gets up to go get snacks and drinks, and when she returns, food in both our bellies. It's then that I gather enough energy to finally say what's been on my mind since all this started. "So, Finn..." "No, he doesn't." She says that without any hesitation at all. I don't think I even saw her blink. I tilt my chin at her. "I think you're wrong. And I think you're wrong. You're cute when you get like this, but I'm not budging." I try to physically will my blood to not go to my cheeks. "I know what you're doing. You're calling me cute just so I'll drop this. Smart, too. Just my type." I fix her my most serious look, though its effectiveness is probably dampened by the smile that's threatening to break through. Just listen to me. Who did Finn call? You. Who did he let decide on how we were going to get here? You. I didn't see what that has to do with anything." I level her with the closest thing to a glare that I can manage with her. When she quiets down, I reach over to grasp her hands in mine. I squeeze. "Finn got himself into a bind, and you were the first person he called. Because he trusts you to be there for him. I know you guys fight a lot, and maybe sometimes it doesn't feel like you're friends, but he obviously recognizes the effort you put into the relationship and thinks highly of you. Finn wouldn't have turned to you if he didn't. Look, you've known him longer than I have. Would he really keep the company of someone whose guts he hated?" I exhale a shaky breath. My chest is practically heaving with how worked up I am. If nothing else, I want Zaina to know just how much her friends value her in their lives. When I finally catch my breath, I nervously chance a look at Zaina, unsure exactly how she's going to take my spiel. For as long as I've known her, Zaina doesn't tend to show emotions on her face very deeply, except when she's angry. But looking at her now, her lips are parted, and for once, she's speechless. I don't know if it's surprise or incredulity, but at least I've said my mind. Ring. A call, most likely from Paxton, saves her from having to respond, though. I reluctantly let go of Zaina's hand so she can reach for her phone. She answers, but the phone call doesn't last long, just under a few minutes. "So? The break isn't too bad." I let out a sigh of relief. It feels like a huge weight is off of my shoulders. "That's good. They're keeping him overnight, though, just to monitor his condition. It looks like Pax might stay the night, too." "How do you convince Finn of that?" He was pretty adamant about us not staying longer than necessary. "Pax has his moments." The smile that crosses her lips is one of pride. I can see why. It's usually Zaina who objects when Finn is being unreasonable, not Paxton. I admit, I would have loved to see that. But now, with the drama of tonight mostly behind us, I'm intent to let the couch do its job. I sink into the cushions with a sigh, energy all sapped out. Zaina's intent on separating me from the embrace of her couch, however. She loops an arm around me and tugs me up, practically dragging me into her bedroom. In my exhaustion, I don't have the energy to overthink about the implications of sleeping in the same room. "We can share the bed. I'm not letting you sleep on the couch after all that." "No, I guess that would be cruel and unusual punishment, wouldn't it?" Zaina's laugh, even tinged with fatigue, is music to my ears. I snuggle into the covers with a contented smile on my face. "Alex." "Mm-hmm?" "I said it before, but thank you for everything." I wake the next morning to empty sheets and the sunlight filtering in through the window. My fingers trace the empty space beside me. They're still warm. Zaina must have woken up not too long ago. Sighing, I savor the feeling of a warm, cozy bed, much needed after the events of last night. I inadvertently inhale Zaina's scent when I do so, this lingering smell of her perfume light and pleasant. Surprisingly at odds with her personality perhaps, but now I know better. It suits her and her capacity for gentleness as well. I allow myself a few minutes in bed, just letting the smell lull me into a sense of tranquility, thinking of her soft hands and the care behind them. When I feel at peace, I finally bring myself to get out of bed. I trudge into the living room, steps still heavy with sleep. I'm met with the sight of Zaina setting out plates of toast with eggs, along with a bowl of fruit in the middle. She smiles in a sheepish manner that doesn't quite befit someone of her temperament. I'm better at taking pictures of food than actually cooking, but I tried. I thought you'd be hungry. I am. I don't say much more than that, as my stomach does the rest of the talking for me. You might want to stick to the fruit. I can't promise the rest isn't bad. How do you mess up toast? Very badly. Despite Zaina's best attempts to dissuade me from the toast and eggs, they're not bad at all. The toast isn't burnt, and the eggs are a little runnier than what I usually like. The eggs, though a little runnier than what I usually like, are pretty good. I'm spreading jam on my last piece of toast when Zaina gets up from the table. I have something for you. That catches my attention. What is it? You'll see. Though I can give you a hint. For something in return. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out what Zaina has in mind. I indulge her, beckoning her closer with a finger. She puts on the airs of someone who's clueless about what's going to happen, but the telltale twitching of her lips gives her away. Not that it matters much when I brush my lips against hers, swallowing her smile. The kiss itself is soft and warm, and tastes of daydreams made underneath the shadow of a tree and strawberries. My hand slides up to cradle her cheek, tangling my fingers gently into her hair. I use it to bring her closer, and I feel as much as I hear the way Zaina sighs into the kiss. When we break apart, Zaina leans her forehead against mine, not wanting to leave just quite yet. We relish in each other's company for a moment. I guess that was probably worth a hint or two. Well, I was busy getting it together after our time at the sanatorium. It's why I didn't come see you right away afterwards. Withdrawing, but not without a parting kiss on the cheek first, Zaina leaves for her bedroom and returns with a box shortly after. She ushers me to the couch before handing over the box. Go ahead. That's not a bomb, I promise. Somehow, the image of Zaina hauling herself up in her apartment and building a bomb from scratch isn't all that far-fetched. Oh? What if what I wanted was a bomb? Then I'll keep it in mind for next time. The promises of next times in the future together warms me more than I could possibly say. With one last look at Zaina, I pry open the box. The lid slides off rather easily. In it are 2 sleeves. Of what exactly, I can't tell. I reach for the one on the... Why is it making me choose this? Now I'm all suspicious. The left? Not that. I pause and Zaina peers over at my selection. Never mind, that's the right one. I school my expression into a deadpan one. No, this is the left one. She reaches over to pinch my nose. Cute. There's no discernible difference between the two, but I pick up the left sleeve. The inside feels pretty... hard? That was the closest word I could think of. At Zaina's encouragement, I turn the sleeve upside down and empty out the contents. Inside are... pictures? The first one, a photo of a wheelchair, looks familiar. Oh! Zaina smiles at me the exact moment it sinks in. I thought you might want to have them, since they are the first pictures you took with my camera. But I thought... The camera was as good as dead, but the storage card wasn't damaged. I was able to retrieve all my photos. Took a heck of a long time to export, but I didn't lose anything. She regards me with a look that's almost... chiding, maybe? So don't you dare feel bad, you hear me? I'll say it every hour if I have to get it. I'll say it every hour if I have to get it through your skull. Okay. It was difficult to argue against someone as persistent as Zaina. Zaina grins, satisfied. She gestures for me to continue. There aren't very many photos, despite me following Zaina's advice to take a bunch of them. She must have sorted through all of them and picked the best ones. That might have been for the best. I don't think I could have been able to tell the difference between take 1 and take 13 unless it was really obvious. Still. What is it? I don't know, They're not very good. You edited these, didn't you? I feel like I've been caught with a preschool drawing. I'm obviously very touched by Zaina's efforts, but... Hey! Zaina pokes me in the forehead and my hands fly out to the spot, rubbing it. She did that pretty hard. You're a professional now. You should flaunt it. My eyes flip back to the pictures and I stare at them, unconvinced. I mean it. She takes the pictures from me and spreads them out on the table, probably so I can better look at all of them. And no, I didn't edit them. Really? That's right, I didn't touch a single one. My eyes find the picture of the sparrow and I take it from the pile to closer inspect it. The photo is clear, a little dark, but the light from the moon shining through the window as it catches on the bird's feathers lends it a mystifying vibe. Now that I'm looking at it closer, it's not a bad picture. It's probably more Zaina's influence than mine, but collaborating on something together is a concept I can get behind. I decide right then to keep the photos. Not that Zaina would even let me throw them away, but I wouldn't mind having them up on my wall as a reminder of something we did together. Something Zaina let me be a part of. Her confidence in me bolsters my own, and when I look at the pictures again, it's in a new light. You can check out the other one now. I toy with the other sleeve. They're pictures, they must be, but of what? I'm drawing a blank. Is it the ones she took of me? Is it the ones I took of her? It's possible Zaina just printed out the highlights from our expeditions, so the reason why she insisted on having me look at them last escapes me. My mind swims with possible explanations, and the number of them only intensify when I finally empty out the contents of this sleeve too. It couldn't have prepared me for this, though. It's pictures of me. Sure enough, they're all photos of me, also from our time at the sanatorium. My eyes seek out Zaina, whose smile is unusually soft. When did you... I pretended to take pictures of stuff behind you. It's also why they're mostly close-ups. But I think you get the point. I don't. Not entirely, at least. I've snuck pictures of Zaina before, but they're for my eyes only. I certainly don't ever mean to show them to Zaina. That would be... embarrassing. Zaina must see the confusion plain as day on my face, though, because she throws me a bone. When I met you, you are... She pauses, mouth moving silently like she's fishing for the right word to say. When she finds it, she meets my eye and grins. A newbie. You are kind of like a bumbling fawn? I can't disagree with that. But you pick things up quick. Faster than the three of us thought you would. Zaina picks up the pile of photos and slowly goes through them in front of me. Can't you tell the difference? She stops at one of them and places it on the table in front of me. What's different? My hair? My response must not have been what Zaina wanted, because she clicks her tongue and lightly hits me with the stack of photos. The twitching of her lips tells me she's fighting a laugh, though. You're joking. I am. I can see the difference. I'm smiling in most of them. Probably Zaina's doing, but the boys too. When I'm with them, it's not about how high or how fast I can go. I can just be me, and whatever that entails. Sometimes it's worrying about Finn. Sometimes it's groaning as Paxton's coffee puns and then turning around and making some myself. Sometimes it's spending the day in Zaina's arms. You look more sure of yourself now. You definitely wouldn't have made that same joke when we first met. Zaina's right. I wouldn't have. Skirting the law does wonders for your confidence, I guess. You didn't have to do this, though. The scoff that leaves Zaina's lips is reprimanding, but not unkind. I did. You wouldn't have believed the growth you'd made if I'd just said it. You needed to have tangible proof in front of you. You're a science girl. Finn's the same way. Finn's a science girl? And besides... Uh-oh. That smile doesn't bid well for my heart. How could I pass up such a photographic opportunity? There's nothing more striking than a subject that evolves in front of you. I clear my throat. So I'm a Pokemon now? What was that? Pokemon? What was wrong with me? That was the least romantic response ever. Zaina seems to find it amusing though. Not that that makes me feel any better. Sure. Have to see. My favorite is probably your unevolved form. Look at little newbie. I pick up my face from behind my hands and look at the photo she's holding out. It's the very first photo she ever took of me on our first outing as a group, when a noise spooked me and I screamed. Just a little. I dropped my face back into my hands, groaning. I can't believe she immortalized it. Zaina's laughter fills the room, fueling my never-ending shame, and yet when I take a peek to see her head thrown back with abandon, I find it hard not to smile. Aww. Thank you for playing Enamored Risks. This game was made in just a month and had a half for the Nano Reno Game Jam. If you like the game, there's an anonymous survey, and Twitter and Discord. More novels. Wow, that was really fun and really cute. And what the heck? I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoyed it. It was so cute. Bye bye.